Hello, I'm MPX Toycat, and look around. Everything the light touches is mine. Craft 1.18, because they're changing the world generation in this update, and it's stunning to look at the new caves, the new cliffs, and the new rivers found in the Caves and Cliffs Part 2 update. However, as I mentioned in my video yesterday, there is only one brand new block or item coming in this entire update, and that is the new music disc by Lena Raine. So besides new music, there isn't any brand new blocks or items, and so how can I possibly be excited as someone who plays survival on a long-term world where I can't really take advantage of the new generation, right? And so today, allow me to explain exactly why I'm so excited for the Caves and Cliffs Part 2 update and why you should be as well. And remember to subscribe if you're excited to see more videos about this update. As soon as the update's out, I'm going to be talking about the best things that you need to check out and whatnot. And if you want to see seeds and all of those good things, make sure you subscribe with those notifications turned on. And let's jump straight into survival, because I do want to talk about survival features that will explicitly enhance your game today. Obviously, everyone knows that the clouds are going to be increasing in height, and that's going to be a really cool thing. So they're not blocking your panoramic views of your world. I know I could just turn clouds off, but I like them, okay? Or they're adding new music to the game, and it's all pretty good. In fact, the one new item is a new music track. There's all sorts of improvements like that. I like the way Deep Slate generates in 1.18 way better than 1.17, but let's talk about things that will actually improve your day if you're a survival player. And let me talk about my biggest pet peeve, because I have a very big sugarcane farm. I'm standing on top of it right now. If you want to see, it looks something like this. It goes all the way from sky height down to bedrock level. It is as tall of a sugarcane farm as you can possibly make right now, but you know what disappoints me? The fact that when you reach this top layer, the sugarcane only grows one height, because if we try to place any blocks above that, it lets me know the building height limit is 256 blocks, and what is that all about? Good news, Minecraft 1.18 is actually going to fix this, because this exact same problem will soon be able to go much higher than just 256 blocks. Instead, as you can see, when we have Caves and Cliffs on, we can go to 257 blocks, and then what's that? We could even go to 258 if we wanted to. Oh, is it actually higher than both those limits? And the new height limit is 320, or as I like to call it, 200 and 120. And so yeah, that is an incredible improvement. To be able to make structures that are a whole 64 blocks taller is incredible. Obviously, it goes without saying that natural generation is going to be able to take advantage of some of this, not all of this, and not even most of this, but being able to go to the top of the tallest mountain imaginable and then stacking up a whole 64 blocks on top of that, that is incredible to say the least. And although from this height, then the clouds have a similar blocking effect, it is still pretty incredible, it has to be said. Speaking of things that are incredible, and which it has to be said for, let's talk about other changes, because I think the height limit is the biggest, easiest one to talk about, and alongside the height limit, they're also increasing the depth, so as well as being able to go up another, oh god, 64 blocks, we'll also be able to go down another 64, because my sugarcane farm goes all the way down to bedrock, as you can tell, but you can't place sugarcane below bedrock unless 1.18 comes out, at which point all your bedrock will be converted into Deep Slate. Because now the possibilities for what you can do have been massively extended. I actually know a lot of people who take issue of this and they're like, wait, there's no toggle off. As best we know right now, they have not announced the toggle off, and based on the Minecraft people I've been speaking to, they don't intend to add one, because you can always just not mine the Deep Slate is their logic, and then it works like bedrock in a way. But now you can dig straight down from your world, and now you can find all of those new cave types, which is exciting for the second reason this update is actually good for survival players. Because although there's something fun about just digging under your existing worlds and finding caves that you know and recognize, you can also use this as a great way to find certain blocks that are kind of a nightmare to find right now. Again, glow berries have technically existed in Minecraft for a solid 6 months. How many of you, I mean, actually, if you're really into Minecraft survival, you probably have some, but a lot of you have just been like, oh, yeah, that's too much effort, so I just kind of don't. Also, is this a lush cave? Do I have to look up or down? Where am I finding this lush cave at? Please tell me. Okay, no. Just one glowberry in a random corner? Is that the best we got? Sorry, wait, I have to interrupt myself again to be like, my god. Seeing caves this big, but like underneath an existing world, is shocking. I mean, if you're in an existing world, being able to just immediately fly around these things and look around for what you're looking for, like me with this lush cave. Okay, I traveled so far that I hit the edge of my world where the caves under it stopped generating, and I didn't find a lush cave. So for now, I'm just gonna fly around underneath my world, and we're gonna talk about, we're gonna pretend there's a lush cave here. In fact, you don't have to pretend. good news, there is the magic of video editing. So this Lush Cave that you're seeing, and that is definitely not being edited on the screen right now, is actually a brand new cave biome that you can find in 1.18. You're probably familiar with it already, and there's lots of wonderful things you can find here. It's a great source of moss blocks, for example. It's a great source of all of the weird, big drip leaves and whatnot. But the big thing to me is the fact that in this update, you will be able to find clay naturally generating in large quantities. Have you ever tried to find clay before this update? If the answer is no, then you don't know how miserable it is. If you want hardened clay, you go to a mesa. If you want non-hardened clay, then you give up on life and you conclude that it's impossible because it's so annoying trying to go under your oceans and mine for clay there, and you need such large quantities and you just never find it in the quantities you want. After this update, you go to a lush cave biome and you ruin that biome and the biodiversity and all that stuff, and in exchange, what you get is a lot of clay, a lot of moss, and potentially some other blocks you want. But yeah, you can then smelt those clay into, for instance, just as an example, you could smelt them into some bricks, you could smelt them into some hardened clay, some glazed terracotta, although for that, I would just recommend going to a mesa biome and smelting that stuff up. But yeah, I love the fact that we're finally going to be able to get our hands on large quantities of clay itself for clay blocks and for brick blocks, which is something that is small and is easy to overlook, but I love that Lady Agnes and her her desire to have brick stuff has added this to the game. It's the sort of thing that you love to hear, right? Speaking of things you love to hear, I'm still above the void in my actual Let's Play world. Maybe we should switch entirely to not my survivor world. Maybe we should not be doing this sort of damage by looking around it. Obviously, this is a copy, by the way. Don't do this to your real worlds. Wait till the update comes out. You'll enjoy it more or something like that. By the way, just having new terrain in itself is so inspirational for all sorts of weird ideas. I think this pit would be more than 1 block deep, by the way. Oh, there we go. It is. So covering a pit in lava. A pit of lava with some glass. Sounds very good, right? Wow, look how fun and enjoyable this is. Maybe take one of these massive pits of the overhangs and decorate a cave yourself. There's so much room for activities in here, in my opinion. But also what there's room for is brand new opportunities to find ore. Mining is going to be so much more exciting in this update, and not just exciting because you can finally use skills to find diamonds or lapis or anything else like that, but every single ore is going to have a specific way to find it. And I can show you them very briefly on screen right now. Every ore has a specific lair that it's best found at, but the idea of actually being able to think to yourself okay, diamonds spawn, look around big caves for them. If you want to find redstone, it tries not to generate facing the surface, so instead you go caving for redstone. If you want to find iron, you mine in the mountains. Same with emeralds, by the way. You can mine that in huge quantities now. And if you want the deep state versions, you've got to find it super low down right here. It's really, really interesting, in my opinion, the way that they are handling this. By the way, mining around mountains is not just a great way to find emeralds. It's also the best way to find coal and iron, but it's also a great way, if you so wanted to get your hands on a ton of packed ice. You could un-icify a mountain, which is an idea I just really want to do for some bizarre reason. I don't know what's wrong with me and why all my Minecraft projects don't make sense, but I guess you're probably used to that by now if you watch the channel. Isn't this fun? You can just take away the ice from a mountain and then you can make it a stone mountain. It'd be like all the other mountains, but you'd know that it wasn't originally an ice mountain. This is a terrible project idea, and no one should do it. But yeah, the other thing that's really exciting is, let's say you want copper. Copper is a ore that came out in 1.17, and a lot of people mined a ton of it, and a lot of people made drowned farms or went mining specifically of their fortune pickaxes. But some of us still haven't gone through the effort of making copper. I was mostly just annoyed by the mechanics of how it slowly drained up. And if you're someone who needs copper, good news, it's slightly easy to obtain in 1.18, ignoring the changes to the ore generation itself. Also, there is another delightful change to copper, which is that when you mine it with a pickaxe, instead of getting 2 to 3 copper, you get 2 to 5 now. It is sadly still capped at 12 if you use a fortune-free pickaxe to mine it. Also, did you know amethyst geodes only spawn below Y30 in this update, so they get slightly less common. Just a fun fact, something you want to do before the update comes out. Maybe that'd be a fun video by itself. But my point here is that being able to mine copper is going to be just a little bit more lucrative after this update, which personally I love. As someone who put off mining copper for all this time, it means that I can effectively go into mining copper knowing that I'll get slightly more for my, bang for my buck than if I hadn't waited, and that's pretty fun. So here is some copper. here we are on the Caves and Cliffs beta, and look how much with a fortune-free pickaxe we're gonna end up with just from mining one vein, and now realize that we're gonna go mining in these new caves and in these new cliffs indeed, and we're gonna find so much raw copper, it's gonna be absurd. Just the experience alone that you get from mining these quantities you know, of item. I literally don't have the inventory space because of all my furnaces. You might be able to work out this is a backup. But yeah, it's very, very insane. The amount of copper you'll be able to mine off this update, if you don't have a fortune pickaxe, is going up by literally, you know, 40%. Wait, no, it's more than 40%. It's up to 66.6%. But the amount of copper that if you have a fortune pickaxe, presumably the curves are at least slightly better for you too, and that's wonderful. Once you've finished mining all of your copper, by the way, do you know what else you can do? You can throw it into a stone cutter now, finally, and instead of spending 4 copper, which was pretty insane in my opinion, just to get 1 cut copper, you spend 1 copper block to get 1 cut copper. Now, building out of copper is actually going to be easy. Also, unlike before, you can actually craft into stairs at a 1-to-1 ratio. You know, honestly, I am a big fan of the stone cutter, improving its recipes quite significantly. And that's an opinion, but it's also just a fact that it is easier after 1.18. And obviously, yeah, these are 5 features. There's a ton of other things you might be excited for, like, the way that mine shafts generate is changing in a positive way, I would argue. Oh, did you know the villages can generate on top of meadows, which is a really fun way to get super high up villages. It's a new place to find villages. The way the world will look naturally is great, and no matter how explored your Minecraft world is, there is terrain you have yet to explore. Obviously, it keeps some that isn't explored for 1.19 and beyond, but yeah, it makes a lot of things that exist right now a little bit easier to work on, and as someone who needs a lot of blocks whenever I work on anything, being able to technically get copper right now, I mean, actually, you can get medium quantities, but I want more. It's not enough for me. Being able to technically get clay right now, it's not enough for me. I love that certain things are going to be made significantly easier, and I love that the range at which we can build those things in is going up significantly too. You know, for instance, here is my cactus house. I don't even know why or what that episode even was, but as you can see, I placed cactus going all the way up to sky height. Now I can decide, do I want this to be increased? Is this a beacon, a pillar? I mean, it works better than bedrock beacons, but you know, what is this? We can work that out, and we can choose to extend or not, or we can just get hit by it a ton of times on the way down. All I know for sure is I'm excited, and you probably should be too, unless none of these things apply to you, and you don't intend to explore your existing world, and you know, you're boring and you don't know what Minecraft updates are, and you don't know how to be excited for people. And in those cases, hope you'll enjoy the video, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. I'm so thrilled I survived that.